Peace. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome. I'm your host, Go Green. Welcome to this day's edition, because we try to do it every time the Knicks are doing something. So welcome to this Knick pregame. I don't think anyone cares about the game tonight other than seeing Dennis Smith and these guys play some more. I think people will, all you're hearing about is the talk, the trade talk, Anthony Davis, but we'll get to all that. First, let's acknowledge the live stream audience. Shout out to my live stream audience at the Green of Thrones NYC Sports, the Green of Thrones NYC Sports on Facebook. We live stream. That's where I get a little bit of an audience to go back and forth with me through this process. And then shout out to all the people that's listening at the YouTube channel, GoGoGadget Green. I'm your host, Go Green, and we talking some more Knicks. So let's jump right into it. We got a couple people. We podcast, right? They said we podcasted from the PJs. Absolutely. So excuse me if, I'm it's really hot in here, and it's not the temperature. I just finished dinner. I made dinner, I hooked it up, I came in, cooked a little bit, got it ready, had enough time to eat before I ate, but I didn't use too much cayenne pepper, but I'm not really a spicy person, so so it's just like I'm really hot right now, you know what I mean? So excuse me if I'm sweating a bit, but we gonna get to it. Got some water nearby. We got the Knicks tonight. Who the Knicks playing tonight? I don't even know who the Knicks are playing tonight. Is it Detroit? Anybody want to co-sign that? Hey, I'm bringing it up right now. The Knicks and the Pistons. I do know who the Knicks are playing tonight. So Knicks versus Pistons. Dennis Smith Jr. had his first practice the other day. The media talked to him about how he felt after his first practice. He had good things to say, as you expect. He talked about David Fizdale trusting him. He felt good that he was being trusted with the offense. David Fizdale talked to him about, giving him the freedom to make mistakes, but also coaching him hard. And he acknowledged that. So that was cool to hear. Obviously, with Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan, there's a little bit less to talk about because we don't know what will happen with regards to a last-minute trade. It'd be hard to imagine someone wanting to give up assets for either player, DeAndre Jordan and Wes Matthews, because think about it. If the Knicks buy them out after the trade deadline, why would you trade an asset for them? With that said, you never know. Maybe they don't want to assume that the Knicks are definitely going to buy them out. Maybe the Knicks will hold on to them, as Fizdale said, and use them as mentors to the young players. See, and you know what? Shout out David Garcia. Yes, Detroit is correct. Brother Oba says it doesn't matter. They're going to lose anyway. And see, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people are nervous, Knicks fans especially, are nervous that DeAndre Jordan and Wes Matthews are going to help the Knicks win more. Listen, people, the Knicks have 10 wins. DeAndre Jordan and Wes Matthews, with all due respect to those players, the Knicks aren't good enough to add those two players, obviously with Dennis Smith, and all of a sudden we're going to start winning games. I don't really see it like that. So I don't know there's a guarantee that if those guys can't be traded, I don't think there's a guarantee the Knicks buy him out. Maybe Wes Matthews, but DeAndre Jordan, I have other speculation on DeAndre Jordan. If you listen to sports radio and you read sports media all through the day as I do, you probably heard this somewhere, but I know there's people on my live stream right now that know I said it the other day. When the Knicks got DeAndre Jordan, and I learned how close him and Durant were. Now, before learning how close him and Durant are, I said to a friend of mine, if the Knicks get the number 1 pick in the draft, sorry, wrong player. I said to a friend of mine that don't be surprised if the Knicks find a way to have DeAndre Jordan stick around. He's not a max player, and it's going to be complicated because they have to renounce his cap hold. In order to be as far under the cap as they want to be going into the summer. So this is all in theory. This might just be fan speak right now. But when you're talking about filling out your roster. Forget Kevin Durant and DeAndre Jordan's relationship with Kevin Durant for a second. But when you want to fill out your roster and you go, say you go get max free agents and say you keep Dennis Smith, or if you don't get Kyrie, whatever. We'll talk a little bit of that before we get out of here. But if you're going to need a guy like DeAndre Jordan for 2 years on a team with 2 max free agents, possibly a top rookie, you're going to need that. And it can't hurt to have a close friend of Kevin Durant's on the team. Now, as we said, there's a financial situation here that has to be worked out. But just speaking to the favorability of trying to lure a free agent here, I think guys want to know there's a defensive stopper at center. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't hurt you. Maybe, I don't know if DeAndre Jordan takes an exception. I don't know if he takes a lot of money with less years, but I would like to have him around to mentor Mitch Robinson. But like Oba said, the Knicks are going to lose anyway. Let's see what else we got here. What they talking about? We got Thorough on deck. Shout out to Thorough. Thorough, as y'all heard me talk about Thorough before, he's a regular with us, as everybody here tonight. I see I got Bomani, I got Pachanga, I got Oba, I got Thorough. Did I miss anybody? I got my cousin Chris. I got a Celtics fan in here tonight. I got a Celtics fan. He might not like what I have to say tonight, y'all. But, so Thorough's a Mavericks fan, so it's dope to have him through this process because, we're good friends and we've spoke about this from both sides. We both have our concerns. We both have our the things we're excited about with the trade between the Knicks and the Mavericks. But Thorough asked me, what did I think about Dennis Smith Jr. in his first game? Immediately I saw all right. So for those that didn't see the game the other night, Dennis Smith Jr. had 25 he played 25 minutes. He got 2 fouls early against Mike Conley. So he picked up 2 fouls early, so he had to sit down. He started out, it looked like he was going to start out quick, but those 2 fouls regulated him to the bench, so it was what it was. Overall, my opinion of his first game, nothing fabulous, but just talking basketball and knowing what the Knicks have lacked at the point guard position for so long, and especially this year. I mean, I saw him come down the lane, hit another gear in speed, jump like he was going to shoot a floater, and then alley-oop it to DeAndre Jordan. Like, I've not seen Frank Ntilikina or Moutier do that. You understand? Moutier doesn't have that explosion. He cannot finish. He has a hard time finishing at the basket. Frank has a bunch of fundamental things he needs to work on. So in 25 minutes, Dennis Smith Jr. had 8 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. Not a bad game. Nothing special, but think about it. 6 assists in 25 minutes. Now, he didn't have a good field goal percentage. If anybody here that watches NBA knows that he needs to work on his jump shot. So, but with all that said, he had 8 points and 6 dimes and 3 rebounds in 25 minutes. I have a question. What does that project to if he plays 40 or 42 minutes? Is it fair to say if he played 40 minutes that he might have had 4 more points? He might have had 4 more assists, which would have gave him a double-double with maybe 2 more rebounds with 5 rebounds? How does those numbers look? It's not what we get in that point guard, so I think he looked good, all things considered. Oh, yeah, I left something out. They didn't practice. So he got the run of the team, and him and DeAndre were starting right away. So I thought it was a decent beginning, but I'm interested to see how he looks after one practice. Let's see what we got. Bomani says he's got star potential. He's going to shine at MSG. For no practice, he did well. I agree. He does have star potential. It'd be interesting to see what he is. Thorough gave a one in the Green of Thrones NYC Sports group on Facebook. Thorough gave a wonderful assessment as a Mavericks fan, which I reposted in a couple of groups. Shout out to Thorough for that. He gave an assessment of Dennis Smith Jr. as a Mavericks fan. And, he has every opportunity aside from if Kyrie Irving comes to New York, but that's all speculation. Obviously, we have Dennis Smith Jr. now, so we don't have to speculate. We have him. If Kyrie comes, that's something different. But right now, looking at that player with what Fizdale likes to do, I think he's in a better situation. No disrespect to Dallas. He's in a better situation with regards to how Fizdale wants to open it up with the point guard. So I'm happy about that. Thorough, but when Bomani, so Thorough says you saw one game and think he has star potential. LOL. I'm a Dennis Smith Jr. fan though. So, I think what Bomani is saying is we've seen him play. Remember, as you know, Thorough, Knicks fans wanted to draft Dennis Smith Jr. Knicks fans didn't want Ntilikina. For the average, Knicks fans wanted Malik Monk over Ntilikina. So going into last season, a lot of Knicks fans did their homework. If you were friends with me, you definitely did your homework because y'all know how we do behind the scenes. And we didn't draft him. And then we see him balling for Dallas, having a decent rookie year compared to Frank's rookie year, especially. So yeah, the star potential, we always saw that even for Dallas. So now to have it in New York, I'll take it. I will take it. Thorough says Jordan's going to want 3 years. He's speaking to me talking about securing DeAndre Jordan, taking more money for less years. He very well may not be willing to do that. So, you never know how that could turn out. He may want 3 years. Or he may say, you know what? To play with KD and Kyrie and all these boys, I'll take 2 years because I'm about to run with these dudes. I'm about to be the defensive anchor again. I'm about to show dudes I'm one of the top rebounders. You know what I mean? I know I haven't been as good defensively, but I can anchor it one more time. He got 2-3 good years left. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. But the problem is the Knicks have to renounce him and then re-sign him. And in that situation, they could give him 4 years, but at the mid-level exception. And the mid-level exception may not be enough for him, to play on the Knicks. Oba is a Sixers fan, and that's what I like. Shout out to my crew here because we got Sixers fans here, we got Mavericks fans here, we got Celtics fans here, and we're doing Knicks talk. But that's because I am fair to everybody. I like to talk sports. Obviously, trade week, the Knicks made a big trade. We focused on the Knicks. But like I tell anybody on the Green of Thrones, GoGoGadget Green, when you watch my YouTube channel or you watch my Facebook Live, let me know what you want to talk about. We can talk about it all. I'm like fully immersed. I'm not as good in some sports as others, but I can hold my own. Oba is a Sixers fan. He says, do what the Sixers did years back. Just tank the season and hope you get the number 1 pick in the draft. I would say the Knicks are not even tanking. I would say they're not even tanking. They're playing the talent that they have. They're just not good enough to win. But for the sake of the conversation, I know where you're coming from. Yes, I agree. If the Knicks end up with the 5th pick in the draft, it'll suck because Zion is number 1, but we still end up with a good player. Bomani says Carlisle was holding Dennis Smith back for Luka. In fairness to Luka looks like a better player. So with Luka looking like a better player, if I'm a head coach, this is what head coaches get paid to do. They get paid to assess their players and do what they need to do. Now, I know just the season before, Dennis Smith was promised the franchise, but hey, guess what? They had a high draft pick the next year. Atlanta made a deal that I don't know if I want to say Atlanta regrets it, because Trae Young is having a decent rookie season, all things considered, but he's no Luka. Luka's going to win Rookie of the Year. Luka's the best rookie in the NBA draft. So in that regard, Atlanta made a mistake, but with no disrespect to Trae Young, Luka's that dude. And Luka's so good that it allowed the Mavericks to say, hey, Dennis Smith Jr. is expendable. Not because he's trash, not because he's a bum, not because he won't do what the coaches want him to do, but because Luka is that much more superior and ready to play. So we down to 10 minutes. So I'm going to run through a couple of... Luka is a better point, way better. Exactly. He's a superior player. Like, Dennis Smith Jr. is a Knick now. I'm a big-time Knicks fan. I wish he was the superior player, but he's not. Luka is ready. He's that dude now, and we got to call it what it is. But guess what? Because Luka's so good, a player that the Mavericks would not have been thinking about trading this season became expendable, and it worked out in the Knicks' favor. Let's see. Thorough says he agrees Dennis Smith will be better here than in Dallas. He probably will. We got Elijah here. Elijah's a Bulls fan. This is what I'm saying. I'm loving the love. So I got Devano here. You know what I'm saying? That's my cousin. No, it's just love all over the place in here tonight, man. Let's see. I wanted to talk about, so across the sports, my people are having their live stream dialogue. I love it. I'm not going to get too caught up into it, but so the consensus is that Dallas got the Knicks good in this trade, and the Knicks, if they don't get anybody this summer, they failed. To a degree, I understand it. I get it, because next season, 2020 free agency, nothing looks good compared to this year. So, to have a bunch of money and not have anyone to spend it on, I could see where people say, oh, that's a negative for the Knicks, and I'm not even going to argue that. I get it. I have other thoughts on it. Just because you have money, no time in my Knick life as a Knick fan, I'm 40 years old, no time as a Knick fan in my life have the Knicks had 7 first-round draft picks, the most cap space in the NBA, and no bad contracts, and a young talent like Dennis Smith Jr. on his rookie contract. And they still have Kevin Knox. They got Trier, Mitch Robinson, and they got the number 1 pick in this. They got a first-round pick in this year's draft, definitely a lottery pick. So no time in my Knick life have the Knicks had all these things. They traded a guy that they've said all along is the cornerstone of their franchise, but he's 7'3", coming off an ACL. So they got rid of a question mark that they definitely had plans for. So it's not to disrespect Porzingis. I'm just saying the Knicks had to give up something to get something. And for the first time ever, the future is beautiful. The question is now, we're in the game. So this summer of free agency, what they call Generation K, because all the top players' names start with K, and some guys that are top players' name doesn't start with K, but for the sake of having fun with it, all New York Mets fans will have fun with that one. Since it's Generation K, I'm like, you have to be a player in the game. So bear with me now. The Knicks, let's just say the Knicks don't trade Porzingis right now, right? And we find out as Knicks fans in the summer that the Knicks have known since before the trade deadline that this player does not want to be there. And then you find out that Porzingis, his brother, gave the Knicks a short list. Y'all can go read this up on any sports outlet, media outlet today that came out today that is available to you. This came out today. Excuse me. My words all tied up. And I don't know if he demanded a trade, but when you walk into the office of your boss and you hand them a list of teams you would go to, on that list was the Clippers, was the Nets, I forget the other 2 teams, but the Mavericks were not on that list. So the Mavericks took an even bigger risk because KP is not guaranteed to sign there, because the teams they put on the list that they gave to the Knicks, all teams he would sign with if traded to, Dallas wasn't on there. Why did the Knicks trade to Dallas? Because Dallas was willing to take back 2 of our contracts that we needed to clear the cap, and they were willing to give up 2 picks. So the Knicks got assets and took on no contracts and freed up money, but they had to give up their cornerstone. And so there's this thought process that, the Knicks got fleeced in the deal, and I don't see how. Could you imagine, just Knicks fans, just think about this for a second. Let me paint this picture for you. Here comes the summer, July 1st. We bringing in Kevin Durant for an interview, right? So we would only have one max contract, enough money for one max contract if we don't make any trades like we did with Porzingis. We go into the summer, we're trying to sign Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, whoever, and then you find out, oh wait, but you're not teaming him with Porzingis because Porzingis wants out. Porzingis wants out. So here you are in the summer trying to recruit a max free agent We know who all the names are. I don't have to go through them. You're trying to get one of these guys to team him up with Porzingis, and then it comes out public that Porzingis doesn't want to be here. Not to mention, he didn't play during the season. In the interview with Dallas, they said the plan was 20 months from the injury to not play. If the plan was to not play basketball for 20 months, as Porzingis said, that means he never intended on playing for the Knicks at all. Knicks fans, especially the ones that are against the trade, how could you expect the Knicks to hold on to a player and hope he changes his mind while you're trying to recruit the best talent you've ever had in your life? And then it goes public, this guy doesn't want to be here. Then he's not even healthy. So here comes the guy coming in like, well, is he healthy? You know, we didn't see him play, but you're saying we're going to pair him up with him. And then you find out it blows up in the Knicks' face. Porzingis actually did the Knicks a favor by being professional and letting it be known he didn't want to be here. Now, I have other points on this, but in this last 4 minutes, I'll stay here because the other points will take a little bit longer. So I'm just saying, if you're against this trade, the Knicks got the most cap space in the NBA. The Knicks got 2 additional first-round picks. I know there's some protections and things going on, but in the next 5 to 6 years, the Knicks have 7 first-round draft picks, including a lottery pick this year. They did not have to give up Kevin Knox. They were able to get from out of Tim Hardaway and Courtney Lee's contracts. And they were able to get Dennis Smith Jr. in return. And just for the conspiracy theorists, you also got DeAndre Jordan, who you can read the article in the newspapers or on Sports Illustrated or wherever and see that him and KD are like boys. Like they're tight. They're talking about going to each other's wedding and being groomsmen in each other's wedding. When they did the USA basketball and all this, how they celebrated by going out with a bunch of women together. Who knows how that went? So I'm just saying these dudes are tight. So for your conspiracy theorists, you even have that element involved. How are the Knicks wrong for not making this type of trade? KP went in there When's the last player coming off a major injury went into his front office and demanded a trade? A guy that's in his first 3 years. So I know the Knicks, what the Knicks did, people are saying what the Knicks did was petty. On the TV, they said, they posted something about Porzingis, but then they also made a point to post he missed X amount of games and counting, and they also posted that he missed the exit interview with Phil Jackson. So it's almost like they tried to paint the picture of him as a malcontent. This is why we had to get rid of him. Did they have to do that? Maybe not. His camp hasn't come out and said anything. And what about, hold on, speaking to another point, speaking to the whole dynamic of his brother. Everybody's like, he's a prima donna. His brother, who does he think he is? Did y'all see when Rick Carlisle shouted out his brother, said, hold on, I want to take a minute to point out whatever, I forget his brother's name. He pointed out his brother and all these other people. I've seen superstars in the NBA not get that kind of treatment. But Rick Carlisle felt obligated to do that. You know why he felt obligated to do that? The same reason Mark Cuban felt obligated to jump in when they asked Porzingis, was he going to sign long-term with Dallas? And Mark Cuban said, of course he is. Porzingis did say we're on the same page, but he also said, if I am here, here's what we'll do. So what I'm saying is, Porzingis is not a lock to sign in Dallas. Dallas rolled the dice a lot, and the Knicks had to take that deal. The Knicks did not want to deal with that attitude. They didn't want to have a guy that didn't want to be here. They didn't want to have a guy that to muddle up the free agency recruitment in the summer. And they traded him to a team that wasn't on his list. So that team is going to do what they got to do to sign him. I believe they will sign him. But the fact that it's not etched in stone and that they feel a coach like Rick Carlisle, a no-nonsense type of coach, felt the need to acknowledge this dude's agent, I find that very interesting. I find it very interesting, but it means nothing to Knicks fans. I just want you to be clear on why the Knicks had to make this deal. And I wish Porzingis the best. I thought he would be a beast here if he was healthy. He was averaging 22.7 points per game before he went into injury last year. So he's definitely on the come up. It's 7:30. I'm going to go through a couple of quick posts real quick. Bomani says, great point. I appreciate that. Collis, what's good, bro? Collis is another regular. He says, that's like your lady saying she don't want to be with you anymore and want to see other men, and you stay with her. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, I respect you for coming to me. So I want to make this clear. It's not to be disrespectful to Porzingis. I'm passionate about this for the Knicks fans that feel like the Knicks got fleeced. I don't see how you can see it like that. Both teams gave up something, gave up a lot to get something they both needed. Thorough says, KP ain't worried about the Knicks. He's playing with the white goat. Yo, you right. So my man Thorough, I told y'all he's a Mavs fan. He calls Luka the white goat, and I ain't mad at him. I can't be mad at him. How can I be mad? Luka is 20 years ahead of our rookie, Kevin Knox. So, and they both got picked in the top 10. Like, Knox shouldn't be that far off. But he is. So, you got that. You got that, fam. You got that. You know what I'm saying? So, Thorough, the Mavs fan, he agrees that was weird how Carlisle acknowledged Porzingis' agent. And that's the point. That's the only point I'm making. Dallas is already in recruitment mode for Porzingis. They are already in that mode. KP gonna get a ring with Dallas. Hey, I hope he does. Versus right after Dennis Smith gets his with the Knicks. But yo, y'all, thank you. Big shout out to my live stream, people. Please go subscribe if you haven't already to GoGoGadget Green on YouTube. GoGoGadget Green on YouTube. To my YouTube people, my podcast people, please go join the group, the Green of Thrones NYC Sports. That's the Green of Thrones NYC Sports. And soon I will be uploading these to podcast sites. So I haven't figured out exactly. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, anything, please throw it out there. What site should I use? What sites should I use for podcasting? Which ones do you use? Which ones are more popular? Which ones you think can help my come up? So I'm trying to get 100 subscribers. So help me. Subscribe. If you like to talk Knicks and whatever y'all want to talk. You want to talk sports? You want to talk RC cars? You want to talk drones? I don't know a lot about RC cars and drones, but I'm game. We could do it. Yo, the Green of Thrones. GoGoGadget Green. Shout out. I'm your host, Go Green. Peace. We out.